Now, the table is always hot with current events and social issues, but sometimes the heat can get a little intense. Let's turn the temp down, take a breather, and get into this week's topic cool down. So, Andre, I want to ask you, what would your dream vacation look like?
Let's see. So my dream vacation isn't solely a place I want to
Mhm.
visit, but like a state of mind I'd want to exist in while I'm there. As a creative person, you know this, Daquon. It's really hard to relax when you're off from your regular 9 to 5 because in your free time from work responsibilities, your career responsibilities start to creep in. You're always
Yup.
thinking of new ways to put yourself out there, succeeding your chosen career path or working on a project that you finally have enough time to catch up on, which always seems to make vacation slightly more difficult because it's really hard to turn off that part of your brain and just relax. So I think that my dream vacation would start with me being in a place in my career where I don't have to be on the grind all the time because I'd be in a place in my career where I know my supporters will be waiting for me when I get back, and I have more than enough money to take as much time as I need to recharge. And then I think I'd like to go on a vacation to a beach. Not one, beach in particular, just one with a really long pier. One of my favorite places to be in this world is right at the end of a beach pier where you're far out into the ocean looking out into its vastness. In my dream vacation, the pier would mostly be empty because I like, I don't fuck with people like that. And it's hopefully right at the start of fall when it's cool but not cold. And just before sunset, when the sky is that beautiful orangey color, I love to be able to just close my eyes and let that salty sea air just glide across my melanated skin and just meditate and just think about my place in the universe and shit, and be able to close my eyes and relax without having to worry about somebody coming up and beat my ass or some shit, crazy shit like that because people is fucking crazy. So like just an empty pier, or just like I said, very few people on the pier where I could just sit there and just meditate, bitch, and just get into my bag, get into my mind, get into the universe, connect with the ancestors. You know what I mean, bitch? You know what I mean? What about you, Daquan? What does your dream vacation look like?
Girl, I feel that so much. Like, as you were saying this, I was like, yes, I see it. I
Right?
visualize it. I want it.
Yeah.
Because I think like the reality is a lot of times, like when you're a creative and your dream job and career is not
Yeah.
aligned with your day-to-day job, even your vacations can just feel like excuses for more work. Like I
Yeah.
find
Yeah.
myself using my vacation time to be like, you know what? I'm going to block these days off and I'm
To
going to
do.
use that to create content. And it's like, girl, I'm taking off to work. Like,
Yeah.
how does that make sense? How is that a true vacation? Or even when I do go somewhere, like I'll go to another city or something like that,
Yeah.
I'm always thinking content, content, content. Like,
Content.
what can I
Yeah.
be doing?
Hmm.
And it's incredibly hard, like you said, to turn that switch off. But for me, my dream vacation
Hmm.
is somewhere where I can have that peace of mind. Like,
Mm.
and also, like, location wise, I want to go on vacation somewhere that has a wealth of environments. Like, I don't want
Ooh.
to be bored on vacation. I
Yeah.
want to be able to spend each and every day of that vacation somewhere different, somewhere where I can go to the beach
Ooh.
if I want to enjoy the
Yeah.
sea breeze, not to get in the water because, I don't
I
really,
can't swim.
I can't swim. I don't mess with the water like that.
It's nice to look at from afar. It's nice to look
Okay.
at.
If we've learned one thing from the Titanic submarine, don't mess with the water. But go to the beach, go to the boardwalk, enjoy that kind of environment.
Yeah.
Maybe go to the city, do a little shopping, a little
Mhm.
perusing around, go to some like cultural sites, a museum, X,
Yeah.
Y, and Z, and then spend a day in like the forest to like truly disconnect from everything. No social media, no
Yeah.
phone, no scrolling, just like I am in the forest. I am breathing. I am connecting with nature. I'm not around people because I don't like them.
Yeah.
Right? Just like connect with nature and be somewhere where you can just clear your head because let's be real, there is so much stress in this world. There is so much stress, and it's not good for your skin. It's not good for your brain. It's not good for your
Uh-huh.
mental health. So sometimes you just need to be able to go somewhere where none of that stress is and be able to exist. And I think that is truly the place where I'm like, I can finally
Ah,
get the energy that I need. I can finally recharge and, get my mental healthing and all of these different things. So I want a vacation spot where I can see variety. I can go different places, get different things, and be able to just enjoy myself in different ways.
I got you. Now, so many children grow up never knowing the full scope of what their culture has contributed to society and history. So it's time for a change. Let's take a pause, rewind, and remind the world just how we did that. In an article on history.com, we learn about the Montgomery bus boycott, a civil rights protest during which African Americans refused to ride city buses in Montgomery, Alabama to protest segregated seating. The boycott took place from December 5th, 1955 to December 20th, 1956, and is regarded as the first large scale U.S. demonstration against segregation. 4 days before the boycott began, Rosa Parks, an African American woman, was arrested and fined for refusing to yield her bus seat to a white man. The Women's Political Council, WPC, a group of Black women working for civil rights, began circulating flyers calling for a boycott of the bus system on December 5th, the day Parks would be tried in municipal court. As news of the boycott spread, African American leaders across Montgomery, Alabama began lending their support. Although African Americans represented at least 75% of Montgomery's bus ridership, the city resisted complying with the protesters' demands. To ensure the boycott could be sustained, Black leaders organized carpools, and the city's African American taxi drivers changed or charged only 10 cents, the same price as bus fare, for African American riders. Many Black residents chose simply to walk to work or other destinations. On June 5th, 1956, a Montgomery federal court ruled that any law requiring racially segregated seating on buses violated the 14th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. That amendment, adopted in 1868 following the U.S. Civil War, guarantees all citizens, regardless of race, equal rights and equal protection under the state and federal law. The city appealed to the U.S. Supreme Court, which upheld the lower court's decision on December 20th, 1956. Montgomery's buses were integrated on December 21st, 1956, and the boycott ended. It lasted 381 days. And I want to just kind of clarify one other thing, too. Did you hear how it said there were plans in place?
Ooh,
Plans. But we can't, that's a conversation for another day. Daquon.
it's very timely to see that people had like plans and safety nets. They weren't just like,
To
we're not going to
sustain
ride the
the
bus.
strike.
It was like, oh, we'll not only not ride the bus, but we'll form carpools. We'll
Hmm.
walk. We'll have taxi drivers only charge 10 cents. It's like, they were really planning this.
To sustain it.
Right.
Interesting. That's maybe a lot more people should be listening to those things.
Mm.
Anyway, Daquan.
Now, my we did that comes from blackpast.org, where we learned that Elijah Saunders, MD, was a cardiologist and expert on hypertension whose work addressed issues of race and ethnicity in healthcare. Saunders was born in Maryland on December 9th, 1934. He attended Baltimore City Public Schools and graduated from Morgan State University in 1956. In 1960, Saunders received his medical degree from the University of Maryland and completed his residency 5 years later, becoming the first African American cardiologist in the state. Dr. Saunders was one of 18 founding members of the Association of Black Cardiologists, formed in 1974. In 1986, Saunders participated in creating the International Society of Hypertension in Blacks. He was a charter member of the American Society of Hypertension and a past president of the Maryland High Blood Pressure Coordinating Council. The project Ethnicity and Disease was launched in 2003 as a direct result of his research on the origin and treatment of hypertension in people of color in Afro Caribbean countries. To make healthcare more accessible to African Americans, Dr. Saunders started the barbershop program in 1978, training beauticians and barbers to take clients' blood pressure and refer them for necessary treatments. Through his medical practice, Dr. Saunders observed that African American patients' responses to drug medications did not match his textbook training. He co authored a book on the matter called Contemporary Diagnosis and Management of Hypertension in African Americans, which demonstrated the wide range in the efficacy of some blood pressure medications based on race, leading pharmaceutical companies to use more African American participants in clinical trials. In 2015, Dr. Saunders's contributions to medicine were celebrated at the University of Maryland School of Medicine's graduation ceremony, where he was awarded the Dean's Distinguished Gold Medal for his work.
You know, Black people, we stay, girl, we stay getting this shit together. We
Eating.
stay eating, girl. Like the fuck, like come on,
It's
organizing shit, making shit happen, making
right.
bringing shit to the light. Like come the fuck on,
Because
contributing
it's
to.
so important. Like, there are so many times when if a Black person isn't in the industry doing the work for Black people, nobody else is going to care.
Exactly. Now, as always, thank you all so much for watching and keep the conversation going down in the comment box below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. And if you are listening to us on our podcast, please rate and review on whatever platform you're using. You can also follow our podcast on Instagram and TikTok for updates of new content at the Melanin Margin.
And if you'd like to follow each of us, our handles are at Daquon, MUE.
And at Andre Talks a Lot.
Now, we will see you all next time on the Melanin Margin, where our goal is always to bring the marginalized to the spotlight in any way we can. Goodbye now.